Hello everyone, I'm contestant number 1289 and here's my video. First thing we do when entering any kitchen is wash our hands. First we need to pick out our table and make sure it gets cleaned and sanitized. So the first thing we're going to do is get our buckets. One contains soapy water and the other one contains regular water. And here I'm doing the 3-step sanitation, so soapy water and then regular water and then sanitizer. After we get done cleaning our tables, we always want to wash our hands because our hands were used to touch chemicals. Here's just me preparing to get all my stuff ready for my cuts. So we have a container for stock, and then we have our cutting board and our peeler and our knife. So we're going to start by peeling the carrots. What I'm doing here is just making sure I'm comfortable with what I've chosen, so my knife, and just practicing some cuts before we get started. With all the cuts I'll be showing you today, most of them start off as a regular, just cut off the sides and make it into a rectangle because they all have the same foundation. So right here I'm doing my julienne cuts. And then here we're getting started with our brunoise, pretty much the same as the julienne, but once we hit the julienne strips, we want to cut them down into tiny squares. Here's me getting started on my medium dice. Again, same steps to get the julienne, except this time we're not cutting thin strips, we're cutting thicker strips. Here's me getting started on my baton. So after we cut our sides and cut into strips, essentially it's just a thicker julienne, so it's exactly the same steps, just thicker. Here we're getting started with our large dice. I like to use the top of the carrot. I feel like it gives you more thicker slices. You don't have to use the top. On a new and clean sanitized surface, we're gonna start our chicken. So obviously we first wanna cut it to make an opening to take out our gizzards. And by that we just cut the skin that's close to the thighs and at the end of the breast so we can open it and take out the gizzards. And after that we're gonna try to dislodge the joints to make it easier to cut through so it can be smooth. As you can see, we break the legs up and it gives us a cleaner cut. And here I'm going to be taking the wings off the chicken. If you would like an airline, you do not have to cut the one attached to the breast, but in this case we're just using 2 regular chicken breasts, so we're going to cut out the whole wing. And then here I'm getting started cutting my chicken breast. So the point is to follow the wishbone, like to get a clean cut and save as much meat as you can. So you're just gonna follow that all the way down. And skin is good, but it was falling off, so I just took it off. And here you can see me fixing up the chicken, cutting it a little bit just to make it really pretty. I'm taking out the tenderloin off the breast, so it should really you should be able to pull it and it should come right off, but it was stuck a little bit, so I just cut the skin that was holding it. So this is me just taking apart the wing in general. Like I said, the skin is a layer of fat that gives flavor, but it's sometimes just better to cut it off so it makes it look nicer presentation wise. And here we're gonna get started on our drumstick and our thigh. So we have the same process. We have to look for the joint, cut it evenly, clean it up a little bit, and that's how you get your drumsticks and your thigh. If you want to make it a boneless thigh, all you have to do is cut a little bit of the top layer of the thigh off and slide the bone out, and it would be a boneless thigh. And the nice part about chicken is you can use the carcass to make chicken stock after. Anytime after working with chicken, we always want to wash our hands because it's a carrier of salmonella, and we do not want to be spreading raw chicken all over our kitchen. And here we're just wrapping it to make sure all the chicken juice stays with the chicken juice, so we can clean and sanitize our table without worry that we're gonna contaminate our chicken with chemicals or anything like that. So we do contaminate one side of our sink with raw chicken, so you let everyone in your kitchen know that it has raw chicken. And I washed my knife and put it on the side, and I did rinse the cutting board before I sent it through the dishwasher, just because it would contaminate the rest of the water in the dishwasher. Again, after I was done cutting my chicken, I did soapy water, regular water, and then sanitize the table after to make sure no contamination. We are getting started on the chicken, so this is just me prepping it to be ready. So the seasonings I used were mustard, paprika, garlic salt, black pepper, a little bit of lemon juice. We do want to make sure everything's well coated, so we are going to go ahead and use our hands. And with lemon juice, we just want it at the base, so we are going to just squeeze it at the bottom and just let it sit at the bottom. And here we're about to start cooking it, so we want to make sure our skillet is very hot, so we just put butter and oil. And like I said, we want it to be extremely hot. If we don't, it's going to absorb the oil. And here I'm just getting a thermometer and a cup of ice ready. So this is so we can be calibrated and we can make sure our chicken is cooked. So on the stove, essentially, we're just getting a good sear on the chicken, and we're going to transfer it to the oven. Chicken does take a while to cook on the stove, so transferring to the oven keeps it moist and cooks faster. And right here for my sauce, I just started mincing some garlic, and I started small dicing a shallot. I'm just taking out my chicken to check the internal temperature. We want to stick it in the thickest part of the chicken to make sure we're getting an accurate reading. And here's me showing you it's at 165. After the chicken's cooked, we're going to put it in a hotel pan and wrap it with foil. We do not want the chicken to overcook. In the same pan we cooked our chicken, we're going to add our shallots and our garlic and a little bit of flour to help thicken our sauce. Once the flour is all cooked, we do want to add a little bit of chicken or veggie broth just to give it more flavor and make it like a natural sauce. After I let the chicken broth cook a little bit, I do add my seasonings and a little bit of heavy whipping cream to make it really creamy. And then we just let the chicken sit in there until the sauce starts to sizzle. After it starts sizzling, we are going to take it off the heat and start cutting it and plating it. And after that, we're just adding our finishing touches, so that's just drizzling the sauce over our chicken and cleaning up our plate for presentation. And then there we go. That's our chicken.